Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you how to make these lovely earrings. So these are the ones that I started with these lovely green chartreuse colored beads and some gold beads and these beautiful red preciosa pearls. So I'm going to show you how to make these. They're super simple and so much fun to do, and you can see the array of colors you can use for these. So what you're going to need is some 11O seed beads. I'm using light copper check glass beads, and then for the beginning part, this middle part here, let's enlarge this a bit. This middle part here, you need some Delica type beads. So I'm using Treasures #1, but you can use Delica. I use Delicas on the others. And I use some regular beads on the others too, and it still turned out really nice. This one here, the color is Silver Line Frosted Dark Topaz. Now I've already gone ahead and added them to my thread, so we'll talk about that in a second. So I'm just going to put those aside. We're going to need some 50 seed beads. That's to go at the end of these here, as well as on the edge of your 11O seed beads. So let's just put that there for now. So you're going to take a wingspan of thread and you're going to put your stop bead on, leaving a little bit of a tail so that you can weave back in. Then you're going to add 18 beads. So let's take a look at that. I'll move them over so you can see for some people that don't speak English. So there's 5 and another 5. Yeah, and 5 and 3. So 5, 10, 15, 3. Bring those down. Now we are going to take our 11O seed beads here, and we're going to go up one side and down the other. So normally when we do peyote, we go up, we turn and come around this way and work in one direction. This we're going to go both sides, and then we're going to add the rest of the embellishment. So we'll pick up one 11O. You're going to skip that first bead. And let me see if I can bring this down and enlarge my hands a little. I apologize for the camera movements. I'm still getting used to my new camera. So skip the first one, go through the second one like that. Let me just hang on to this. You know what? I'm going to flip it this way. This is how I have been doing it. But you start your peyote whatever way works for you. So that first bead should sit right next to the other one, like that. I don't think the focus is on this. There we go. Pick up your next 11O. You're coming out of this bead. You're going to skip the next one, and you're going to go through the one after that. I thought since I made a whole bunch of these would be easier to do on a video, but it's such a different way of doing it on the video. So there, start to shape up. Pick up your next one, skip that bead, go through the following bead. I think I'm going to turn this over like this. I am also tired, so things aren't working as well as I would like them to. There, like that. Pick up your next 11-0. So you're coming into this bead. We're going to skip that one and go through the very next one. So this one is really good too. If you're not really familiar with peyote, you can still do it. I'm hoping that it will translate. Let me know. I'm just assuming that since we're only doing 2 rows of peyote, that it should be straightforward. But sometimes it's not that the case. So your next bead, we're coming out of this bead here. We're going to skip that one and go through the very next one like that. Just going to hang on to that, and I'll lift my finger so you can see the next placement like that. Pick up the next bead, skip the next one, go through the following one like that. I am getting responses from people saying that they've finally tried peyote stitch, and I actually had Kaliti from Arizona that tested out the wreath that we did last week, and first time ever doing peyote, and she managed to do, she sent me a picture. It looks amazing. I'm just blown away. So excited. I enjoy it. It just opens up so much design ideas. So you can see it's kind of curling, not a big deal. We will straighten it out when we come back on the other side, and you can just, straighten it out with your fingers. So do the next one. That. Pick up another bead. So we're coming into this bead. We're going to skip that one, and we're going to go through this one. Just ignore your stop bead. If you feel it's getting in the way, then just move it. Move it over with your fingernail like that. So let's just make sure this doesn't get twisted. So I am pulling it so that it's kind of flattens out a bit. So I am just going to turn it over. So this is what we have. So now we're going to just go up, and we're going to put an 11-0 bead in the spots, the low spots. So let's start with this one here. It'll make more sense. Like that. Okay. Pick up your next bead, go through the Delica or the treasure. So your thread's coming out of this one. There's a gap here. We're going to put that in there. We're going to just go through like that. Pick up the next one. Just go through that one bead. Wow. I'm struggling here. Just go through that one. And like that. Go put the next one in. Just like that. That through. pick up an earring, knock over your beads. It's the life, a day in the life of a beader. Oh, just quit. Behave. I don't think I've ever, there's some things I've done where you get so frustrated and tired you end up throwing things. I don't think I've ever thrown my beads. I just laugh. Sometimes I don't know why I'm laughing though. Because it's not a very happy scene when your beads are all over the floor because you've dropped them. Okay, so that's what we have. So we start out with our 18 Delicas or Treasures, whatever you're using. Then you do a row of peyote with your 11O seed beads. You go around to the other side. So that's key in this. Don't go straight the way you would normally do peyote. Fill in the low spots with these, and this is what you should have. Your thread should be coming out of the other end of where the stop bead is. That's important, because now what we're going to do is we're going to build from the bottom up. So we're going to start adding beads at the bottom. The first 4 rows that we're going to add 2 seed beads, and where's my 15Os, and a 15O. We're going to do that for 4 rows, and I'll explain to you. I say rows, it's branches. So let's if we were doing this now, this is how it would look, like this. So we are right here. So you see there's 2 beads we're going to add. We're coming out of that Delica, so it's actually like this. Yeah, so we're coming out of this Delica here. We're going to add 2 beads and the 15O. We're going to come back around, skip the 15O, but go through the beads and come through here, go through this seed bead there and cross over. Actually, no, we just have to go through here like this and cross over. We'll go to our next row, but I'll explain that as we get there. So let's get some 15Os out. So pick up, you're coming out of this here, pick up 2 11Os and a 15O. And what I'll do is I will write the instructions for the rows in the description, in case you're wondering. It'll be easier to follow than having to rewind and start the video again, that kind of thing. So the first 4 branches, we're going to add 2 11Os, 1 15. I apologize for repeating this a few times. I did this design myself and I still was confused. I kept getting the count wrong. So we're going to skip. We're going to come back around. We're going to skip the 15O. We're going to go through the 2 11Os we just added. And we're going to go through that treasure or delica. Just hang on to your beads like that. Pull that through. Snug. There, you're set to go. So your thread is coming out of this delica. We're going to take our thread and move it over to the other side. Then come down that bead. Pull it through like that. Again, like I said, we're going to add 2 11Os and a 15O. Bring it down to the bottom like that. Skip the 15O. Go through the 11Os and the delica like this. Hold on to your work. Pull everything through like that. So now we're coming out of the delica. I'm just going to call it delica. rather than treasure and everything. So we're coming out of this Delica. We're going to bring our thread over to the bead that's right next to it, which is this one here, but we're going to go down instead of up. Go down like that. Pick up 2. So this is our third branch. So we did 1, 2, 3. And pick up 2 11-ohs and a 15-oh. You're going to bring it down to the bottom. You're going to skip the 15-oh. You're going to go through the 11-ohs, through the Delica. Like that. Like that. Just hang on to that. Pull everything through. Snug. Now, our thread is coming out of this Delica here. I feel like maybe we could enlarge this a bit more. I apologize. Let me know what you think if it's too enlarged. Like I said, my camera it's a brand new camera, so it's amazing how much it expands. So we're in this Delica here. We're coming out of it from the top. We are going to go across to the other side and down this 11-oh. This will be our 4th branch that we're adding. So we're going to add 2 11-ohs and a 15-oh. Bring it down like that. Skip the 15-oh. Go through the 2 11-ohs, the 11-oh that's on there, and then the Delica that's there too. Bring that through. Hang on to your work like that. So you have your first 4 branches. So now our thread's coming out of this Delica. We're going to go over to the 11-oh beside it, and we're going to pass our needle going downward through that bead. Now, this would be our 5th branch. So now we're going to increase. We're going to increase every second row. Again, I'll write it in the description for you. So now we're going to add 3 11-ohs, and we're going to do that twice. So 3 11-ohs and 1 15-oh. We're going to bring that down like that. Skip the 15-oh. Go through the 11-ohs that we added, plus the initial one we went through. And we're going to go through the Delica like that. So hang on to your work. Pull everything down like that. So now the thread's coming out of this Delica. We're going to go to the other side and down through the 11-oh that's right next to that Delica. There, you can try and flash the needle there. Yeah, you can see it. Bring that down. So now this was the first row that we added 3. So we did 2s for the first 4. Then number 5, we're doing 3. We're going to do 3 on this side. 1, 2, 3. And that's what we're going to add. Bring it down to your work like that. Skip the 15. Go through the 11-ohs, the 11-oh that was already in there, and through the Delica. Hold on to your work. Pull everything down. Take your thread over to the other side. We are now going to add an extra bead. So we're going to do 4. So pick up 4. And move that one out. It's too small. 4 11-ohs and a 15. Bring it down like that. And skip the 15. So the 15 is holding your beads on there. Go through your Delica. Snug. Move over to the other side. Go down that bead. Pick up 4 and a 15. So 4 11-ohs and a 15. Bring it down like that. Skip the 15. Go through the 11-ohs and through the Delica on your stem. So now we're going to increase to 5 beads. Now for the rest, we're going to do 5. So this is your choice too. I did find that by doing this gradual, where are we here? Yeah, I'm not liking this. The camera keeps going off of lock. Okay. Behind the scenes of a beater on YouTube. So you can see the gentle increase here. And then here we just go straight up. So I want it to look like a pine branch. So if you want to keep going bigger, you could do that too. You could do an upside down Christmas tree. Okie dokie. So we are coming out of this Delica. We need to move our thread over to the other side, to the 11-oh, and put our needle through that from the top, going downward. Pick up 5. So like I said, for the rest, we're going to do 5 till we get to the end. So there's 5 and a 15-oh. Bring it down. Skip the 15-oh and pass through your 11-ohs and the Delica. That. Take your thread coming out of that Delica, go through the 11-oh right next to it. Pick up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 15-oh. Bring it down to your work. Skip the 15-oh, go through your 11-ohs like that, and go through that Delica. Getting ready for the next branch on the other side. Go through the top of that bead next to the Delica. Like that. So you can see how lovely is this. That's awesome. Oh, this is one of my favorite designs. But when we grew up, my dad used to put up, I'm trying to think of the name of the pine. It's, I want to say spruce. So the pine needles, you know what? I think he did both. The pine needles, the ones that had like the little finger branches like this. And then there's the other ones that it's just a whole bunch of needles. I'm doing really well with all the names. You know what I'm talking about? I used to know the name of all the trees and the different type of trees. That's what happens when you get old. All the old stuff just like, I don't need this information anymore in my brain. I'm just gonna, it's probably still there, just can't access it. I should show you. This is show and tell. You know, there's always show and tell on my channel. And I suck at waiting. Like, wait till the end till you're finished showing us. Nope. I'll get this one done and I'll show you a picture. So I want to say a big happy birthday to my sister Sylvia, and you'll know why when I show you the picture. Her birthday was December 1st. I would love it if you don't have to, but this would be so lovely. In the comments, say happy birthday, Sylvia. That would be so hilarious. And I'll show you the OG birthday picture. Let me see here. Oh, how's that? So there's Sylvia. She was a big baby when you think of it. There's my mom. So this is the hospital room when she was in the hospital. This was 59 years ago. And back then, kids were not allowed in the hospital, definitely not allowed on the obstetrics unit. But I don't know, and I look at my dad, he looks like he's wearing a tie. I don't know why because he worked on construction. But everybody looks pretty well dressed. So I'm wondering if it was they went to church and came back. My mom passed away, so she can't give us that information. She was terrible at remembering this stuff anyway. So take a wild guess at where I am in this picture. Look, there's one peeking from underneath. So this was we were kind of mini celebrities when we'd go out as a family, and this is what people would see. And even back then there was big families, but yeah, people would, I'm sure the nurses were like, oh yeah, it's okay, we'll take a picture and the whole bit. So that's pretty stunning that we still have this picture. So her birthday's December 1st. So that's when this picture was probably taken a day or two after. But she looked pretty good for a newborn. She looks like she's about 3 months old. She's gonna bug me for making that statement. Anyway, so that's my happy birthday, Sylvia. So we used to do. She didn't get a celebration for her birthday. It got kind of folded into Christmas. So when we were teenagers, we always made sure we did something for her birthday. So we used to do all kinds of cool stuff. So we need 5 here. Pay attention. Emma. No, you guys always pay attention. That bead is not happy. Let's get rid of that one. Because there's happy beads and sad beads. There's 4, 5, and a 15-0. So bring that down to your work like that. Skip the 15-0. Go back through your beads and go through that Delica. Kind of maneuver the beads so you can get your needle to come out where you need it to come out, and pull it all down. Just watch it doesn't get hooked on the other branches. Like that. And then come down this bead here. Add 5. That. Bring it down. Skip the 15. Go through. And through the Delica. Go to the other side. Go down the bead. So if you're counting how many, just a little tip, if you lose track of what you're doing in your increase, just again follow the how many beads for each little branch. But if you put your work down and you come back to it, you're not sure where you're at, be careful not to count the one bead on the one side, because, and it alternates, you can see there's a bead here, a bead there, a bead here, a bead there. So don't count those when you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. there's your 5. So that's what I was trying to get at. And the same, it's more so at the bottom when you're doing 4 rows of the 2 beads and then the 3 and then the 4, you get confused. Oh, was I on this side or was I on that side? How many beads do I need to add? So just remember. Okay, these beads don't want to go on my needle. I think they might be a bit staticky. There's 5 and a 15. Bring it down. That. Go through everything except for the 15-0. Pass through the Delica. You can see we're almost done. See what I mean? It wants to hook on. Just pay attention. Okay. Let's move that one out of the way. Bring your thread over to the other side, down through that bead that's right next to the Delica. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have 8mm film of me baking at Christmas, me, Sylvia, and my other sister, and us unwrapping our gifts. So I joked earlier in another video that I need to get that video. I might, as soon as I get off, finish this video, I will take a look, see if I can find it and show it to you. That would be hilarious. So you could see the original, how at a very young age I was taught how to unbox beads. Yeah, silly. There's 5 and a 15-0. Bring it down. Pass through, skipping the 15-0. Go through that Delica like that. But you can see how amazing is that? Just pretty, pretty, pretty. You know what? I will try and figure out some other design ideas because I think we can do some really cool stuff with the peyote stitch in the middle and then have branches coming out. We could do some different shapes and figures. And in case you're wondering, the John Bead Curiosities box for December, I did do an unboxing a couple of days ago, so you can take a look at that. It is jam-packed full of goodies. I will be showing you some of the stuff that I'm making with it and show you some designs we can do. But you can still order it, so... Okay, so this is the last one. Pick up 5. There's 5 and a 15-0. Bring it down. Just move that tail out of the way. Skip the 15-0. Go through all of those beads. The 11-0s. Okay, so now we're at the top. So we're now even, so there's no branch on this side. Although if you wanted, you could add one, but just it's kind of even now. We're going to put the loop. Now, I have been putting 10 beads there, and when I started putting my ear wires on, I found that it was, it looks like it's too big, don't you think? So on this one, definitely on this one, but I did find these beads these are inside lined pink, and I did find that those beads are a little bigger anyway. But then when I did these look pretty good just like that. So it's up to you how many you add on. Again, it would depend on your ear wires too. So we will add 10 to make it match the other earring. So pick up 10. There's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So there's 10. Now let me get this guy out of the way. So we're coming out of this bead. We're going to go down through this one here on the other side of it, like that. And there's our loop. So just extend my thread. We can go back up and go through it again. Go through all those beads again. Pull tight like that. And down. There we go. Now we're going to add our pearls. So we do need our Delicas or treasures. We're just going to need 3 of them. So we're going to pick up one of those Delicas. I find the Preciosa pearls, one hole is bigger than the other, and it's not really the hole is bigger. It's the, these look pretty even. The finish coats, but these are pretty nice. But if you have one that you want to keep the small side, which has the 50 with the smaller, where the coating is totally covering. But I mean, that's really minuscule stuff. So let's see what we have here. So we have that's what you're going to add. Bring it snug. You're going to skip the 50 that's what's securing it. You're going to go through the pearl and through the Delica. Let's hang on to that there. Oh, that went around those branches. There we go. So this is what happened. We don't want this to happen. So if this happens where you're it needs to be there, just grab a hold of your 50 and pull your needle thread and it will draw it up like that, see? And there we go. So now let's go. We're coming out of this, what we just added. We're going to go down the bead that we just went through at the beginning to attach it. Like that. Now we're going to go off to the side to the 11-0 beside that Delica. We are going to pick up a Delica, a pearl, and a 50-0 dot. Okay, draw it down all the way. I'm going to just put my finger there to hold it in place. Skip the 50-0, but go through the pearl and through that Delica. that. And it's not quite up there, so I'm going to grab a hold of that 15 and pull, pull, pull. Go back down that 11-0. Actually, go from the bottom up. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but I like it to stick out a bit. So if you do it that way, it will pop a little bit. Just get this out there like that. You see what I mean? It sticks out rather than, you can see it really sticks out rather than hanging down, but it's up to you. So now take your thread. I'm going to go through the Delica on the other side like that. I don't know if you can see that there, like that. This part here, however you get down to the next bead is fine. You don't have to worry too much about it. I'm going to go through this bead here, and I'm going to add my third pearl like that. Pick up a Delica, a pearl, and a 15-0. We're going to bring it all the way down. And hang on to this here, like that. Skip the 15-0, go through the pearl, go through the Delica, like that. Let's grab a hold of that Delica. There. Again, I'm going to go through the bottom of the Delica that's on the branch. And I'm going to come up through that. Like that. There. Now, if you left it, this is what it would look like. And I mean, it looks lovely. I'm just going to check. Okay. And I'm so not used to the angle of how I see the image on the video is really dark, but everything looks good. Okay, so you can leave it like that, but I don't want these beads to be, all spread out. I want them to sit like this. So I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to go up through, grab it this way. I'm going to go up through the bottom of this Delica that's on the side pearl, like that. Like that. See how it pulled it to the middle? Then I'm going to go down the Delica that's on the pearl across, like that. And then I'm going to go back up this Delica on the other side. So it doesn't matter, they've loosened, but once we get it in here, see how it's pulling together? That's what you want. Okay. And now we can I'm going to go to the back, and it just makes it easier to find a way to get through the beads. So just bring your needle down and find a spot that you want to tie off. So just like that, makes it nice and snug. So I am coming out of this bead here. I'm going to go across to this. I'm going to use my Delica row to hide my thread. So I'm going across 2 beads there. That's our tail. We're going to get rid of that as well. So just do like that. Okay. So now I'm going to tie a knot. So I'm going to find a thread bridge between this bead and this bead. You just need one thread. There's a few threads there. So just grab whatever works. It's kind of hard. It's teeny tiny. There we go. I grabbed one thread. Take your working thread, go around. You can go around twice. Once actually is fine. These are really kind of delicate things. It's not carrying a lot of weight, so you don't have to worry. Now I'm just going to pass my needle through a few of these beads on the branch, and I'll pull it, and that'll kind of hide that knot as well. So I'll just go through to this and snug. There, that knot is gone. Cut this off. Just be careful you don't cut anything else. Now we're going to slide our stop bead off. Just hook up with your nail. Just like that. Pull it off. Thread your needle. I put a mat beside me and it's moving all over the place. And it has like a tray of seed beads on it. I'm like, oh, that's going to end up on the floor. Time to move. There. So you might want to add a little more thread on this. I will make this work, but you don't want to be messing around for the sake of an inch or two of thread. Okay, so this was your initial bead. So we're going to go basically the same path I took for the other. It's coming out of this bead here. So I'm going to go through this one here. And that's what I was saying, because we're passing through this area a few times. You might want to use a size 12, and it's going through really nice with the size 12. So let's get that in there. Okay. So now let's pick up a thread bridge here. You can't really see it. It's more of feel. Okay, so bring that through. And bring it up close to where your thread's coming out. And that's going to hook on that branch. I got that one. Pull it tight. And that's what I mean when you have such a short tail. It's not nice. Okay. Back in there. I mean, they're pretty easy to thread, so it's not too bad. Okay, the knot is in there. This is not going anywhere. I'm just going to pass through a few of these beads. Like that. And pull it snug. Take the needle off. Clip this. And this is done. How lovely is that? Oh, that's amazing. So now we're going to put our ear wire on. These are lovely ear wires that I get from AliExpress. So I'm just going to open this a bit there. And they have so you can use jump rings too, but this I think works really nice. Just hook it in there. Kind of put it at the middle. I may have to open that a little more. Huh. Okay. It's not going to behave. Just going to twist it off to the side. What I should have done in the first place. So remember, if you have an ear wire that has a front, well, I mean, all ear wires do. So just remember to hook it on. I guess if you're like me, I've finished putting ear wires on. I'm like, oh, why is that one backwards? That's so you can look lovely coming and going. That was a good recovery, wasn't it? And straighten that out. Oh, there you go. So that is these lovely earrings. Look at that. That is so cool. Ta-da! Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.